the young people backed the Labour Party. The young people were the structure of the Labour Party. Do you see, as in your office as publicity secretary of Labour Party in Rivers, do you see that merger happening? If that merger happens, do you still think the young people will be in support? I remember in 2014 when the merger that gave birth to the APC happened, it became a force. So a merger may bring about a force, but do you see that happening?
Okay, first of all, Atiku called for unity of the opposition parties, right? And talking about a merger right now would be putting the cart before the horse.
Why do you say so?
First of all, the issue of the merger before the election, which was brought up by certain interest groups or stakeholders, if I may say so, was just an issue of political calculation, if I would put it that way.
All right.
Trying to merge forces to see how we could defeat one big enemy or one common enemy, right? But it's beyond that, because we saw what happened with the APC in 2015. It's beyond just winning elections, right? So when you have the PDP and you have the Labour Party, there's an ideological gap between both parties. It's not just about bringing people together. It's about seeing how they could actually marry their ideas and see how to push this ideology forward. So at a time like this, when the elections are over, everybody is counting their losses, trying to assimilate what happened through the electoral process, trying to check mistakes that were made and see how they can correct them. This is a time for unity. This is a time for healing, right? So we're trying to heal, we're trying to unite, we're trying to discuss. But I feel the time for the talk of a merger would come, and that would bring about a coming together of ideas, a coming together of an indoctrination process of some kind to see how people can actually, if there's going to be any sort of merger or unity of that sort, to see how the ideas could actually be infused to one common ideology before we can start talking about pushing a common front. Because anything short of that will just see us repeating the APC mistake of 2015.
Now, let me ask you a question. You say APC mistake. The three political parties, the big political parties like we call them, or even four, I hear there are four, APC, number one, I don't know who's number two, so I'm not going to call in any particular order, but we've got PDP, Labour, and NNPP. Do any of these parties have ideologies? Let's start from there. Because with the way the Labour Party came into the mix, there is Peter Obi, and the young people started going, do they have an ideology? Do political parties in Nigeria have an ideology that Nigerians can hold on to and say, okay, Labour Party stands for this, like we know the Republicans in America stand for, or PDP stands for this, like we know Democrats in America stands for, or even in the UK? Can we say there is an ideology?
Okay, before the coming in of the Labour Party, right, we could say that was one of our concerns when we came in. And the thing is, there wasn't enough time before the election for some of these things to sink into the public, because there was this electoral rush. Nigerians, we like to rush the electoral process as though it's not going to come again. That's why those that tend to use extreme measures act the way they do, because they feel like, this thing is like Christmas, it's coming, it's like it's not going to come again. But the Labour Party actually has a deep core ideology entrenched in socialism, right? Socialist ideology with a little bit of capitalism, not extremist.
Have you not ended up confusing us, Nigerians?
No. There's social capitalism, right? Like what is being practiced in some Scandinavian countries, right? And this has been seen to work in lots of countries, right? So democracy, if you don't put a little bit of everything into it,
like
right?
a mixed economy.
Yeah, like a kind of mixed economic policy.
And so I think in government we call it mixed economy, if I remember vividly.
Yeah, there is a name for it, right? So I believe a time will come. Like I said, the election is over. It's past now. So we're trying to see how to put our houses together. The LG party chapters, the state party chapters, the national structure. Everyone knows there are some issues over there which we know we're going to come out of very soon, right? So by the time all this is done with, the issue of political parties not having structures or not having ideologies will be a thing of the past. But I know that lots of these other political parties rush the process. They just want to grab power, which has been the mistake that most of these parties have. But we have ample time now to put our house together.